hello, family, and welcome to Bold, Blessed, and Seasoned, the podcast where we celebrate life after 55 with faith, wisdom, a little sass, and today a whole lot of laughter. I'm your host, Phyllis Tucker Saunders, and I truly believe God has a sense of humor. How else do you explain the fact that when we're young, we can jump out of bed without a thought? But by the time we're seasoned, getting out of a chair sounds like we are auditioning for a symphony. Today's episode is entitled Growing Older is Hilarious. I want us to laugh together, not because life has always been easy, but because laughter has helped many of us make it through the hard times. If you've lived long enough, you've learned that sometimes the best medicine isn't in a bottle. It's sitting around a table with family and friends, laughing until your stomach hurts. I remember my sister Frances, she would make us laugh till our stomachs hurt. Now, let me warn you, if you don't laugh at least once during this episode, I suggest you check your pulse, because I'm going to tell on myself today. If you laugh too hard during this episode, don't blame me. And if your spouse asks, "What are you laughing at?" tell them, "Come listen. Phyllis is telling my business." So let's get started. I wanted this episode to be one that will make you smile. I tried to write some funny things, but it wasn't quite working. Then I thought maybe I should tell about the funny things that have happened to me. At first, I didn't think my life was funny until I started to think of some things that have happened over the years. Once I started writing, the stories just kept coming, being 13 of 15 children, falling down, embarrassing moments, things my family said, things I said that I probably shouldn't have. And I realized something. God has sprinkled humor all through my life. Sometimes we laugh while it's happening. Sometimes we don't laugh until 20 years later. But eventually, if we're bold, blessed, and seasoned, we laugh. And family, that's what today is all about. Not laughing at growing older, laughing through growing older. Because I've decided if I'm going to age, I'm going to enjoy the trip. Can I get an amen? First, have you noticed something about your doctors? My doctors keep getting younger every single year. I don't know how they're doing it. One day I walked into my doctor's office, looked around and thought, did somebody drop these children off after high school? Every time I go, I ask the doctor or the nurse the same question. I say, "Do you know how you know you're getting old?" They always smile. They think I'm about to ask a medical question. They say, "How?" I tell them, "You know you're getting old when your doctor and your nurse are young enough to be your grandchildren." Every single one of them laugh. Then they stop laughing and start doing the math. One doctor looked at me and said, "I never thought about it like that." I said, "Neither did I until one of y'all called me ma'am and offered to help me put on my shoes." I thought, wait just a minute. Weren't doctors supposed to have gray hair? These young doctors walk in looking like they still have homework due tomorrow. Sometimes I want to ask, before you examine me, could you please go get your father? Now, don't leave me out here by myself. How many of you have looked at your doctor and thought, bless your heart, you weren't even born when I bought my first car? See, I knew it wasn't just me. Now, speaking of feeling older, let me tell you about dance class. Yes, I said dance class. Don't laugh. I still dance. Now, my knees may have voted against it, but they lost out. I take ballet and modern dance at Prince George's Community College, and I absolutely love it. The only little problem is that most of the students are about the same age as my granddaughter. I walk into class. They're all stretching. One young lady put her foot behind her head. I thought, oh, that's nice. Then she left it there while she checked her phone. I couldn't even get my phone out of my pocket without stretching first. The instructor says, everybody jump. I quietly translate that into seasoned language. Everybody march. Honey, I'm no longer in the jumping ministry. I've been promoted to the save your knees ministry. I clap, I cheer, I admire, but jumping, those days have been archived. Now, here's the difference. Those young people finish class, grab their backpacks, and go to Chick-fil-A. I finish class, go home, find the heating pad, and cancel everything for the next 3 business days. Just kidding. I can't afford to rest for 3 days. But here's what I love. The music starts, and suddenly age disappears. In my mind, I'm 21 again. My body occasionally sends me a different memo, but my spirit still dances. And family, don't ever let anybody convince you that you're too old to learn something new, because every time I walk into that dance studio, I'm making a decision. I'm not finished living. God is not through with me yet, because I am what? Bold, blessed, and seasoned. People ask me all the time, Phyllis, how do you stay so active? Well, I play basketball, I take ballet, I take modern dance, I water walk, I do Tai Chi. And don't get too impressed. Sometimes after all that activity, I need a good nap. I wake up wondering what day it is, but that's all right. I'm still moving, I'm still living. And here's my favorite part. Whenever I travel, I have a tradition. I find something a little higher than waist high, a wall, a bench, a railing, anything sturdy. Then I lift my leg up like I'm training for the Olympics. Somebody takes my picture, and because my Bible study group likes to remind me that I'm the oldest, I post my leg lift picture in my Bible study WhatsApp group with the words leg lift in Chicago, leg lift in Atlantic City, leg lift in El Salvador, leg lift in New York. They all get a laugh out of my shenanigans. People always say, I can't believe you can lift your leg that high. I tell them, neither can my left knee. It complains the whole time. Oh, then one day it hit me. I dance, I travel, I play basketball, I exercise, I do Tai Chi. I lift my leg higher than people have my age, and somehow it's hard for me to remember all the time that I'm the same age as old people. How did I get to be the same age as old people? I don't know when that happened. I keep expecting to meet this elderly woman. Then I walk past a mirror. Can't really see her, but there she is. The good news, she's having the time of her life. And I wink at her and say, I hope you never act your age. Now, bold, blessed, season family, let me tell you what it was like growing up as number 13 out of 15 children. Why a Chicago sidewalk nearly took me out, and how getting back up off the ground after 70 has become a full worship service. Trust me, this you want to hear. I told you I dance with people young enough to be my granddaughter. I told you my doctor looks like he should still be asking permission to stay out after 10 o'clock. And I admit it, I'm the same age as old people. Now let me tell you, it didn't start there. I've been collecting funny stories my whole life. I love telling people that I'm 13 or 15 children and seeing the look on their face. Some people even respond, one mom and one dad? So I say, yes, one mom and one dad. And y'all, I believe by the time my parents got to child number 13, I don't think they were calling names anymore. Daddy would stand on the porch and yell, whoever belongs in this house, come eat. And we'd all come running. At the table, we had to use our survival skills. If there was one piece of fried chicken left, you better already have it on your plate. And even then, don't turn your head. That piece of chicken could be snatched in a minute, and the person who did it would sit there grinning like a Cheshire cat. Growing up in a family that big taught me something. You learn to share, you learn patience, you learn love, and you learn to talk fast, eat fast, and run fast. If you don't talk fast, you don't get your point across. If you don't eat fast, you might not eat at all. And if you don't run fast, you might get the last lash in a fight. Maybe that's why I still eat quickly today. I'm 60 something years removed from home, and I'm still protecting my fat back, fried chicken, or my cornbread. Now, speaking of moving fast, let me tell you what happened very recently in Chicago when we were there to visit the Obama Presidential Center. Apparently, the sidewalks there had something personal against me. Absolutely love Chicago. Beautiful city, wonderful people, great food, but somebody explain something to me. Why are some of those sidewalks so daggone high? I was walking, looking all confident. You know the walk, the I've got somewhere important to go walk. Then that sidewalk reached up, grabbed the toe of my shoe, and introduced my right knee to the concrete. Now, when you're 6 years old, you fall. People say, "Oh, are you okay?" When you're 76, people come running from 3 different directions. Oh, my goodness. Should we call an ambulance? I said, "No, thank you. Just help me save what little dignity I have left." But then came the real challenge, getting up. Now, family, if you're under 50, listen carefully. Getting up off the ground after 70 is not one movement. It's an entire worship service. First, you roll over, then you get up on one knee, the good knee, not the one that just had a disagreement with Chicago. Then you put one hand down, then the other. Then you start looking around for something sturdy, a bench, a railing, a kind stranger, anything. Then you begin praying, "Lord, if you help me get up this one time, I promise I'll pay attention." And if anybody says, "Take your time," you want to tell them, "I don't have a choice." Finally, I got up, brushed myself off, looked around to make sure my sister and her husband aren't laughing, straightened my clothes, and aside from the limp, I tried to get back to my I have somewhere important to go walk, because that's what seasoned people do. We fall down, we get back up, we moan, and then laugh about it later. Of course, after I got home, I probably should have called one of those 12-year-old doctors. Okay, you guys, it's time for Phyllis Says. Phyllis says, don't stop laughing because you've gotten older. Laugh because you've lived long enough to have stories worth telling. Those laugh lines around your eyes, we've earned them. Those gray hairs, we've earned every one. Those sore knees, well, some of those we probably earned too. Life isn't measured by how many birthdays we've celebrated. It's measured by how many memories we've collected. So make another memory this week. Take the trip. Dance anyway. Call somebody you love. Laugh until your stomach hurts. And if you happen to trip over a Chicago sidewalk, just get up, dust yourself off, and put it in your next podcast. Because one day, it just might become somebody else's favorite story. Well, family, that's all for today. I hope you've laughed a little. I hope you've smiled a lot. And I hope I reminded you that growing older isn't something to fear. It's something to celebrate, because every birthday means God has trusted us with another year, another story, another lesson, another reason to laugh. If today's episode made you smile, would you do me a favor? Subscribe so you never miss an episode. Hit the like button and share it with someone who needs a reminder that they're never too old to dream another dream. For next week, you don't want to miss it. I'm going to tell you why God told me to pick up a stick before I went walking, how buying a dryer almost turned into an episode of Dateline, and why sometimes the only thing standing between overlooked and being included is opening your mouth and saying, "Throw me the ball." Until next time, stay bold, stay blessed, and keep shining. Remember, season doesn't mean finished. It means anointed and ready. And remember, life isn't over because we've gotten older. It's finally gotten interesting. I'm Phyllis Tucker Saunders, reminding you that life is a journey. Enjoy the ride.